The high holiday season is nearly over, and you might be sitting in your chairs and asking yourself, what has happened with our rabbi? He hasn't spoken about politics for a long time. He usually has a sermon or two reflecting on current issues and Israel in the build-up, but up to now, not a word. And he will reply to you that he was struggling to find the right words this year. Not that he is not an optimistic person anymore, who has lost his hope that an ever-changing world will find its roots and its balance again, but that his optimism has gotten some scratches this year, and that his outlook on the future has seen, indeed, better years. One of the main themes for this year's high holidays has been miracles and wonders that are part of our lived reality. And friends, there is no doubt that I would describe the founding and the establishment of the modern state of Israel 75 years ago not as a miracle of biblical dimensions worth the Al-Hanissim prayer we recite on Yom Ha'atzmaut, and adding the Declaration of Independence as a sixth Megillah to our canon. The idea of a state that is governed in the spirit of Jewish values independently and with full sovereignty to determine the fate of its people was the driving hope, tikva, that formed the red thread in our people's narrative for over 2 millennia. And when the state was founded back in 1948, that created in our collective Jewish perception the feeling that redemption is possible and that we are finally standing on the threshold of a messianic era. The state of Israel has renewed and strengthened within us the bond we have with each other. Secular and religious, communist and nationalist, young and old, Jews of heritage and Jews by choice, all found a common link within this miracle in the Middle East, which we can call our Jewish state. Values like Tikkun Olam found new fuel when linked to Israel, and our joint contribution to make the desert green made us proud of this little piece of land. Israel became a bridge builder between Jews and non-Jews, lifting us up as equal partners in a world where nationhood matters. And Israel gained our support, our love, and our prayers when it was threatened and came under attack from within and outside its borders. We became one, and we have been mourning and weeping with its inhabitants since its first child died in one of its wars that shaped its existence since its early days, so sadly, too. And exactly 50 years after the Yom Kippur War, we bow our heads before every woman and every man who has served in the Tzahal and any other organization that aims to keep the lives of all Israeli citizens safe. All this and so much more, including all our personal encounters with Israel, describes the feeling of amazement when I think about 75 years of Israel. However, I have never felt so frightened before that this miracle could disappear again. I have never thought that this place of wonder could become a wedge separating Jews from Jews. While Israel was once the hope that brought Jews together, it has become the bone of contention and mistrust. Instead of standing side by side, and contributing to the well-being of all, we are thrown into camps, facing each other in unbridgeable differences, accusing the other side that they are tearing down everything the Chalutzim, the pioneers, created, and what we all have been so proud of. It has even gone so far that we hear that one Jew denies the other Jew's legitimate interest in the well-being of the Jewish state. Chaverim, I stand in tears in front of you when I hear how more and more young people dissociate themselves from Israel. When they tell me and the world that they feel no bond with Israel anymore, or even worse, when they don't see any need or legitimacy in the existence of the state of Israel. I could easily point fingers at the current government. Many of you know that I disagree with their policies when it comes to nearly everything they do, from the economic divisions they have, which are dividing the country between the haves and the non-haves, even further, to the way Arab Israelis, Bedouins, and Palestinians are included or not in Israel's society, the way refugees are treated or better threatened, and how LGBTIQ people are more and more coming under attack from fanatic religious groups, sanctioned and even supported by members of the coalition. No pinkwashing can cover that up. It makes me speechless when I hear and read about new plans to push women out of public spaces, introducing more gender segregating places in the once so open Israeli society. And I could speak about the erosion of democracy that has occurred in Israel since the government has been formed, or even before, and how self-interest and self-serving policies endanger this finely balanced makeup of the miracle state. But I don't want to point fingers this Yom Kippur because it would be too easy. And I would entrap myself in the same misery of division I was lamenting before. I would find myself in one of the camps feeling perhaps good, but for the wrong reasons. Instead, I want to ask myself and us, what has gone so terrible wrong? When have we allowed our awe-inspiring miracle turn into a nightmare? When has indifference taken hold of us, replacing care and concern for the development of Israel? Have we stopped investing in Israel when the blue J&F Tzedakah boxes slowly disappeared from our tables at home? Have I lost my language to speak about those things that made my heart jump for joy when I was thinking about Israel, blinded now by the dark shadows of current politics? Have we failed to install this sense of belonging in our children and taken Israel too much for granted? Have we replaced the presence of the divine in Israel with beach chairs in Tel Aviv? At the beginning of Yom Kippur, rules dictate that one should speak about hope, a good outlook for the new year, that one should speak about teshuvah and repentance, and even about food and how difficult it is to fast for us Jews. And yes, I will, no worries. I don't want to spoil your high holiday experience, but I also want us to use the momentum to remind us that Yom Kippur is so much more than food or not eating. Our repentance and our relationship with others, and even our relationship with God. Yom Kippur is also there to remind us that we cannot stop hoping and that we are the builders not only of our personal but also of our people's future. Right now, while the words of the Kol Nidrei are still ringing in our ears, I ask you that we promise each other for the new year to create a new miracle. I'm asking you to relight the flame that has burned for Israel for the past 75 years. I want for us that Israel becomes again part of our conversation without feeling guilty or full of annoyance. I want us to be part of a solution, not the ones who will bury Israel as a lost cause. Let's come back to the table as one family and start a conversation that is beyond polemics. Let us stop with the rhetoric that accuses the other of being the greatest villain in the room. Let us believe and trust each other that we want to find a path forward and not backwards. Chaverim, friends, under the dark layers of frustration and disappointments, there must be still that spark that represents our love for Israel. Let us search for it. What was it that made you go to Israel in the past? What did you experience on your first Israel tour as a child or a teenager? What were the values you learned at Netzer or any other youth movement about Israel? Is there something we can borrow for our conversation today? Let us come together and study the texts of the early Zionists and explore why their hearts were beating so passionate for Israel and what we can take on from their vision for a Jewish state. Yes, we must reform Israel and how we approach her. Yes, we must write a new chapter in our relationship with her, reinterpreting the ideas and values stated in the Megillat Atzmaut, the Declaration of Independence. And in as much as Reform Judaism has the power to renew and define Judaism for today and tomorrow, Progressive Judaism has the power to create a new outlook on Israel for today and tomorrow too. Let us have this honest conversation. Let us bring to the table all our fears, our frustrations. Let us hear what everyone has to say without judging, but wrestling for a common language. And when we have found it, let us find partners in Israel and around the world, expanding our conversation by listening and sharing. Let us make sure that our voices are being heard and that we are listening too. Let us break the silence. Let us revitalize the Nefesh Yehudi, the Jewish soul that connects us around the globe with the beating heart of Judaism in Jerusalem. By doing so, by doing all of this, I really hope that we can instill in our children the same feeling of hope and anticipation of redemption that we once inherited from our parents. Next year, my friends, your rabbi wants to stand here with you, speaking with you about the success in creating a new miracle by returning Israel back into our hearts. L'shana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, Gema Chatima Tova. We turn